Boom! We're back again with another great video. This one is really dear to my heart. This is one of my favorite animals that I got by far. This one's great with kids, great with people. Everyone loves her. It's a European lizard. Her name is Frankie. She's a gorgeous animal. She will grow up to about 4 feet long, well, can max out about that. I've had Frankie for about 15, 16 years. And she's, like I said, just been great. When my niece and nephews come over, that's the first thing they want to hold is Frankie. As you can see, her current cage is about a 20-gallon long, and her water dish in there takes up about, almost half of it. It's quite a large deal in there, and that's because she absolutely loves to swim. She sits there and soaks in it, and she'll swim around, having a great old time, and I tell you, she looks great in a bikini. Some of the things I've fed this particular animal has ranged quite a bit. She eats Pinkies. They're pre-killed, of course, for all the people who don't want to see poor little Pinky get chewed on. Although I did throw one once in that was still alive, and my niece about had a heart attack when she watched it get chomped. But anywho, I put hard-boiled eggs in. I've put earthworms in, crickets. She eats them all. And I, at one time, tried cat food. A vet told me, don't ever do that. It's bad on their livers. Apparently, cats have bad digestive systems, so the cat food itself's got extra stuff in there that's bad on other animals' livers. And so he said, try dog food, canned dog food. And I tell you, Frankie absolutely loves her canned dog food. In fact, I'll be feeding her some here in a minute in this video. You'll get to see that. She absolutely loves it. I haven't tried too much outside. I tried some greens once, and she didn't really eat them. She's more of a carnivore. Now, one of the things I always get asked when I say, I got a legless lizard, people look at me, one, with their big eyes or cross-eyed, and they look at me and say, isn't that a snake? Well, no, it's not a snake. It's a lizard. It's a legless lizard. And so they say, well, what's the difference then? Well, here's some of the differences. Snakes don't have eyelids where the legless lizard does. You can distinctly see a pair of eyelids on it. You look past the head a little bit, you see some ear openings on the legless lizard. Again, snakes don't have those. You can see a distinct line down the side of the body of this animal here that you can see the stomach is separate from the upper part of the body there. Snakes don't have that. So those are some of the things. Another thing is the legless lizard, its tail takes up almost 2/3 of its body. It's huge, where a tail on a snake isn't that long. This is a lizard, so if it gets scared, in danger or anything, it can drop its tail. They're also known as a glass lizard. If the tail falls and hits the ground, I've heard, now I've never seen it, but I've heard that they'll just break into little pieces. So that's another thing that's different from them. So they're definitely more of a lizard. Their jaws don't come apart like a snake's would. Snake's jaw dislocates so it can swallow large animals like a rabbit or something. This animal, this legless lizard, is restricted by only as far as it can open its jaw, and its jaw does not dislocate. So the food that it takes in has got to fit within that space, unlike a snake. So about 15 years ago, like I said, I purchased this animal from a local pet store. It was a friend of mine who opened up an exotic pet store. It's gone out of business now, but that's not the point. When I purchased her, there was two in there. Apparently, they were a mating couple. One was female, one was male. I purchased the female, and I took her home and absolutely fell in love with her. My nieces and nephews pulled her out all the time and was playing with her, and I tell you, me and my wife said, you know what, that'd be awesome. I've never seen one before in my life, one of these legless lizards, I mean in real life. And so we went back to the pet store, wanted to get the second one, because like I said, they were a breeding pair, and it was sold. Another gentleman had bought the male in a city close by. Anyway, I've looked and looked and looked since that time trying to find another legless lizard, and you can't get them here in this town anywhere. Even that before the exotic pet store closed down, they kept saying, oh, we can order it. And they tried a few times and weren't ever able to get one. And I tell you, I've always kind of regretted not getting that mating pair And now I've seen them now online, and I know places to buy them now, and I've kind of been debating whether or not to get another one. But I tell you, just fun animals. Lovely. About 10 years ago, I had this animal, and I had a wonderful dog, and we left. Maybe we were building a snowman. The point is, we weren't in the house. The legless lizard ended up getting out of its cage due to a glass got broke, actually. It was able to get through a small opening, and it ended up getting out. While we were gone, that dog ended up attacking the legless lizard, actually chomped on it like it was a stick, and when we got home, couldn't find the legless lizard anywhere. One of the things that right at the bottom of the cage on the floor was a larger spot of a blood spot. You could see something had been attacked. Of course, we knew it was that legless lizard, and so after we looked for a while and didn't find her, we actually thought the dog had totally ate the lizard, all of it. It was middle of winter, I remember that, and it was a few hours afterwards we'd been searching. I actually kind of gave up, and I remember looking down, I had a small, it was a manufactured home I was in at the time, and so the hallway, at the end of the hall was the back door, and we had a small table set against there for some reason, and I ended up thinking, well, maybe the animal was down there. And so I moved that little table, and underneath was this legless lizard. Thing was almost frozen, for one, and when I picked it up, you could see little puncture holes all over her body. That dog had just chewed her up really good, but nothing had been ripped off. She just had a bunch of puncture holes, and she was half froze. Well, I washed her off real good and then put this triple antibiotic ointment all over on these puncture holes. And then I had to remove all the bedding and all the dust because I didn't want anything like that getting into these wounds out of her cage. Vacuumed out her cage really good and got her back in there. Luckily enough, the animal never did get infection. I remember treating those wounds almost daily with this triple antibiotic ointment. And if you look real close on her back and that, she's still got some scars from that from 10 years ago. But she ended up a real resilient animal, didn't get any infection, ended up surviving through that incident, thank goodness. I don't really know if the dog and her ever become friends. I've had this animal for 15 years plus. She seems to enjoy the temperature range of about 70 to 85 degrees. Not too hot. Almost right for me. I wish it was about that temperature right now, honestly. She can live 50 plus years in captivity. That's a long time. But I tell you, she's so fun to have around that I'm looking forward to all those 50 years. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed making this video. Getting Frankie out and holding her and messing with her is just a lot of fun. That is one gorgeous animal right there. And you all take care. No idea.